without first take. What's good, YouTube? This your boy Quinway Basketball Anisto coming to you with a quick video. We're gonna talk about the top free agents for 2016. Here you're gonna find part one. Part two gonna be next, so just let the playlist go right through, and you can automatically watch part two of the free agents. Let's go. Kevin Durant, the best player in the NBA. He's better than Stephen Curry. He's better than Kawhi Leonard. Only thing is his team ain't winning, and that's because of Russell Westbrook. But one thing I will tell you though, once he gets this figured out, do we want to opt in and play one more season with Russell Westbrook, or do we want to go play with John Wall? Do we want to go play with James Harden? I think Washington and Houston are better fits for him. Houston, I think, is the best fit because you already know the West and you already know how to play with James Harden. Going and play with John Wall, you're going to see a guy that's unselfish, that wants to win, that can pick apart the defenses, and is unselfish. The guy already almost got to the Eastern Conference Finals just with Bradley Beal and Paul Pierce. Kevin Durant, just as clutch as Paul Pierce. He's taller than Paul Pierce. He's a better ball handler. He's a better playmaker because he's younger and more hungrier. And this team is going to be ridiculous if they can actually get KD to come down and play with Bradley Beal and John Wall, because we've seen glimpses of that last year, like I said. And this is going to be a pretty good team. You know, I didn't like it at first, but Gortat is a good finisher. He's a good pick and pop guy. He's a good free throw. He's a solid center at that position. He's just a solid center, but he's an exceptional pick and roll player. Everything else, Markieff Morris is a guy that can pick and pop and shoot the three. So that way you have the floor spacing for John Wall, the dribble, ball handler, get inside the paint, get some layups. Even Bradley Beal improved as a ball handler too. He can get to the free throw line and get to the basket too. Then you got your third ball handler in Kevin Durant that can do the same thing, but he can actually spot up and shoot spot up threes instead of have to create all the time like in OKC, because he got a guy that can average 10 assists without being a ball hog, because John Wall is so unselfish. I like this fit better than Russell Westbrook fit. And he's going to Eastern Conference, which is a weaker conference. He don't have to do all this do or die bullshit in the West, going against the Clippers, going against San Antonio, going against Golden State. He can just go against. This is going to be him versus LeBron. But LeBron is in his 30s and KD's in his 20s. John Wall's in his 20s. Markieff in his 20s. Bradley Beal in his 20s. Only person that's old is Gortat. But all he got to do is get a layup and get a dunk and shoot a free throw and do a pick jump shot. And that's all Marcin Gortat got to do. Other than that, LeBron James is second. We going to talk about him. He got a player option. He was spoon-fed pretty much in Cleveland the first go around. He chose to do the cop-out way and go to Miami. He should have just stayed in Cleveland because they gave him everything he wanted anyway. Instead, he chose to run away to Miami and come back to Cleveland, and now they gave him even 2 spoons. He used to only have 1 spoon. Now he got 2 of them, because now he got Kevin Love and Kyrie Irving, and the whole team is built the way he wants it to be built. They gave him the coach that he wants to have. LeBron pretty much is spoiled. He gets anything he wants to. And to be honest with you, he's going to at least have to stay. He did burn them once because he was spoiled the first time he was in Cleveland, but now he got a fork and a knife. So if he burns them again, it's probably going to be for a team that he's plotting and scheming to build. Other than that, Cleveland the best team in the East unless KD go to DC. Andre Drummond, I'm not a big fan of Andre Drummond. All he does is just get rebounds and just get layups. You know, I'm not trying to understate what he does, but he can't shoot free throws. He can't post up. He can't shoot a jump shot. All he does is really rebound and just toss the basketball back in. He can't play defense. He's a subpar defender. He not on Tyson Chandler level. He not on Dwight level. He ain't on Marcus All level. He just an average to mediocre defender. He is the best part about him that I would say is just his age. He has improved every year, but he still got a long ways to go to me. He's not even on my top 5 center list. But Andre Drummond, they got him third as the third best player on this free agent tracker. but I don't really agree with that. DeMar DeRozan, this guy I can see him going somewhere else because I like the Terrence Ross, Kyle Lowry, and DeMar DeRozan as the perimeter players because Kyle Lowry is a good ball handler. He can play make, and that's less time that he got to put the ball in somebody else's hands. He can be the primary playmaker. Also, Terrence Ross and DeMar Carroll has basically shooters because DeMar DeRozan can't shoot threes and he's a mediocre mid-range shooter. Sometimes he gets streaky, sometimes he get hot, sometimes he go cold. That's why you got to have Terrence Ross and DeMar Carroll to space out the floor and just jack up, spot up threes. And then you can actually move Jonas Valanciunas to the 4 position and put Bismack at the 5. If you let them go, you're gonna have to use that money to give the money from DeMar DeRozan to give the Bismack to $10 million player or at least $8 million player because he did do some things that caught some eyes in NBA playoffs. So you know they're gonna inflate his price just a little bit. If Aaron Baines got $7 million, Bismack Biyombo gonna get around that much. Right now, DeMar DeRozan is worth $10 million on his current deal. Of course, he's gonna opt out because he's worth way more than $10 million. But Bismack might be that guy with a defender, uh, rim protector. You got a power forward that can shoot and stretch the floor. Stretch the floor and finish and rebound. And you also got a small forward that can defend, the best player, and shoot threes. And you got a wing player that can shoot and space out the floor for Kyle Lowry. And you know Kyle Lowry is better at finishing than he is at shooting, so it benefits him too. Mike Conley, I think they should try to find a way for him to go to the Spurs. He fits that Danny Green, Kawhi Leonard type of mode that he's a defender first, but he can also do the nitty gritty things that can like spot up jumpers, get into the paint, get to the free throw line. He does them little nitty gritty things that Greg Popovich, he does the little nasty things that Greg Popovich like. He's like, let's get a little nasty. That's what Mike Conley does. If he do leave Memphis going to San Antonio, I like that, and I think they'd be locked for the championship because that's a good player. He played well against Steph Curry, and then you got Danny Green and Kawhi Leonard already down there for the perimeter, and then you got LaMarcus Aldridge. All they would need is a 5, but they got Boban, so that may be they ripper. That's a crazy lineup if you really think the Spurs got a lot of money if they let some of these players go. Al Horford, I think he's gonna stay a Hawk. They just got to bump up his pay. Dwight Howard, I think he should opt in. He's getting paid $23 million from the Houston Rockets. He had a bad season, a decent season, but he's not going to get paid $23 million next year unless he opts in. And then he can play up to his potential, which is a top 5, top 10 player. And if he does that, he can get paid even more money because the salary cap goes up even more. So he can get paid his $23 million, which he's worth. And then on top of that, he can play into his next contract and show that he's worth still the top money that people doubt that he is. Dwayne Wade, he's going to opt into his contract. The contract numbers, I don't really know how much they're going to pay him. Tim Duncan, I want to see him come back. Dirk Nowitzki, he's getting paid $8.7 million. He probably going to opt into that. Nicholas Batum should stay with the Charlotte Hornets because he gave them that extra ball handler and that floor spacing that they need. But they still got to figure out what they're going to do with the 4 and the 5 position just because they just not getting enough out of his position, even though he can play a little stretch floor because he got the length, but he just don't got the body and weight to do it. Bradley Beal, he turned down the offer so that way they can find a way if they can get KD to come down back to come. Get KD to come to Washington Wizards. If they can't, they can just lock him in and give him the money that he want, and him and John Wall can just build out what they're gonna do around those 2 players and Marquise Morris, of course, but and Otto Porter, so they can build around that 4. And Gortat is already a solid pick and roll player, like I said before. Chandler Parsons is a player I think he should opt in because he's getting paid $16 million, but he's been having down years. He should opt in and show that show that he's worth the money. That's what he has to do because he showed that he's worth less. Now he got to show that he's worth the money. Now, this season, opt in your contract to play with the Mavericks and show that you're worth the money again. If you don't, then you're gonna get money that's not as good. Like I said, you're gonna sign a cheaper deal when you can sign a more lucrative deal. So I'm just trying to help him out. And Festus and Harrison Barnes, I think they're going to be gone, honestly. Harrison Barnes, they offer him 40 million or 50 million or 60, or they offer him 64 million, and he turned that down. That means he's going to at least go for the 80. So with that being said, if he go for the 80, he won't be playing for Golden State unless they let Festus go. But they can always just use Iguodala and just let Harrison Barnes go. But the way he's going and the way he plays, he's worth that 16 to 18 million to 20 million range. And a young team is gonna take a gamble on him. And I don't really blame him. You gotta trust yourself, like Jimmy Butler said. You gotta bet on yourself and trust yourself. And all good things come to those who stay true. And Harrison Barnes was the #1 pick, and he was supposed to be the #1 overall prospect in high school, but he showed in UNC that he can play with the best of them. And we gonna have to see if he can do it on the NBA level, though. And Festus, I think he gonna leave too, because he's gonna be a $12 million center, because the guy just plays hard. He rebounds. He's been injured, but he just don't get the playing time in return. Somebody gonna take a gamble on him, and we gonna have to see. So check out my part 2 video. This Quinn Wade Basketball Anisto, Basketball Analysis signing out. Check out my website, analysisplayground.com. There you can find NBA breakdowns, NBA tributes, NBA highlights of the rookies, and you can also find the mock draft. I'm gonna probably try to update it again since the playoffs still on, and you can also find just regular NBA coverage on the website. So check that out.